Good morning. It's a wonderful day. Happy Saturday. You guys, it's so good to welcome you. We've got a nice gathering this morning for our monthly setup. August is almost here, if you can even believe that. I'm Jennifer Ogilvy, and I have the privilege of being your facilitator this morning as we do set up our August calendar, our August journal. I'm loving the colors this month, and oh my goodness, let's not even forget about the theme. It's going to be a good one. Joining me as my co-facilitator this morning is the fabulous Maya, coming to us from Colorado. And I'm going to give you full disclosure. My Spotify is not cooperating with me this morning. So Maya and I had to do a little switching in the control room. And she is actually running the playlist as well as the slide deck. So if you have a question and it's not getting answered right away, just know that she's having to do that part of my job, and I'll do my best to cover in the chat. But we are a great team, and we're going to get this figured out for you guys so that you can have a great start to your Saturday. So I want to first off, new month means we've got some birthday folks in the chat. Somebody's already said it's my birthday month. If it is your birthday, give us a hey, because we want to wish you a big happy August birthday. And if there's anything else special happening, we've got, I know, new jobs, new starts of the month are just so cool. So look at all our birthdays in August. I love that. My big milestone, I had a milestone last month. I turned 60 this month, my 40th wedding anniversary. So July and August are hot months in my house. Anyway, I'm so glad to welcome you to celebrate those great things. If you are here for the very first time, please drop a hi or me or first time in that chat, because we want to give you a really big warm welcome. Oh my goodness, look at you guys. Awesome. Welcome to our newest folks attending a social. Now, you are going to love this community. If you haven't been part of socials before, please come back to plenty. Lots of us already know how we're going to set up our journal, but we keep these appointments with ourselves for that accountability with each other and to ourselves. Now, I'm going to share lots of examples from our Sonder family. You're going to see lots of different things on the screens. I'm going to give you a hint. If this is your first time, sit with your phone and take pictures of the screen, or grab a screensaver or whatever, when you do a screen chat. I'm sorry, I'm a little off the game since my stuff didn't work this morning. Get a screenshot. That's the word I'm trying to find, so that you can save that to look back at. Don't feel like you have to have it all filled out and done within our time together. I tend to, when I do setups, I go sort of take notes, piddle around, and then I sit later by myself and finish figuring out how I want everything to look in my journal for that month or that week. So, give yourself that grace. And also, if you're brand new, you might open this journal and go, there's so much here, I don't know what to do. Here is your permission to use this journal as you see fit to meet your life and what goes on in your life. You don't have to fill out all the things. And we're going to show you some great ways of repurposing and reusing. So you might want to grab some sticky notes. You can, move those around in spaces. Yes, I'm seeing lots of folks saying, yes, take lots of photos, take pictures of the slides, try new things. If you've been doing this and you want to try something, that's always fun. Make sure you have all your supplies, and just remember that, this is about you and your journey. So let's get going. I'd like to share very quickly our community guidelines. We have these community guidelines in place to remind everybody this is a safe community, a safe space where you can be authentically you. If you're ever having a day where you're not in the headspace to work on something, full permission to sit out, read the chat, share in the chat. If there's something heavy on your heart, let us be there in that journey and to help carry each other's burdens and celebrate each other's successes. So if you have any customer care inquiries, hello@silkandsonder.com. That's going to be the link that you want to always you might even want to bookmark that link, because the customer care team can address any issues you may have or questions that you have. Maya and I are contractors, and so we don't really have the headquarters information that might be something that you are looking for. Also, and just remember, we do respect each other's privacy here. So no promotions and spam, and just be kind and courteous. That's kind of the rules. And so let's get going with our new month and our new theme of tranquility. We've been doing some deep digs the last couple of months, and this is our time to take care of ourselves. We're going to figure out, where do we find tranquility? So Maya and I always talk about one of our favorite pages every single month is the letter from our founder, Meha. We kind of feel like it's a love letter to her best friends when we read it. And I want to encourage you to take time every month to read Meha's letter, because you will kind of get why that theme was chosen. And she'll challenge you to think about the theme and how it works in your life. And so I read through the letter, and I'll just sum it up. Tranquility will look different to everyone. So as we are all digging in together and working together as a community, we may be inspired by one another, but remember, your journey with tranquility is just that. It is your journey, and it's going to look different. And even from day to day, what tranquility looks like for us may be different depending on the day that we're having. So I love this little graphic, this quote: life is all about balance. You don't always need to be getting stuff done. And honestly, this is the pot calling the kettle black, because I always feel like I have to be uber productive with my days. I don't like to let grass grow under my feet. So this is really a note to self. Sometimes it's perfectly okay and absolutely necessary to shut down, kick back, and do nothing. That may be where we find that tranquility, when we give our life proper balance. So let's take a look at our agenda for our time together today. We're going to start with an opening reflection, an opening activity that you're going to love, because it's something that's going to grow through the month. We're going to take a look at July and look at those reflections. We're going to set our intentions for August. We're going to set up our mood tracker and dig into that. And then we're also going to work on our habit tracker for the whole month. So we're going to get a lot of good stuff done this morning. But the first thing we're going to do is our opening activity. So this is your tranquility checklist, and I love it. Some of you have went to the stress relief toolkit, where we built that toolkit of the go-tos when we're having an especially stressful time. This is going to be that kind of list where you are committing pen to paper. I want you to flip your journal to a blank page, a scratch pad, your thoughts journal. I actually used one of our sleep tracker for my page, and you'll see that in just a second, because we're going to make a list. We're going to brainstorm 10 things that make you individually feel calm and grounded. And then throughout the month, add to this list as you think of new things. But also there's an accountability piece. We want you to check off when you embrace one of these items or one of these things that brings you tranquility. So I started brainstorming, and at first, you sit with a list and it's like, but as you will see, I was easily able to come up with 13 items and then I stopped, but I'm already adding to it. And so this was my sleep tracker. I don't use my sleep tracker because I track it through the means of modern magic. And here are the things that bring me tranquility: listening to the birds while I'm on my back porch, sitting with a book and some soft music in the background, a very slow yoga practice with soft music, lots of slow, deep breathing. Coloring. I love to cut. Y'all know I love to color. If you haven't gone to a coloring social, I generally get to be the facilitator for those. And I love me some coloring and some soft music. Anytime I'm rocking a grand, that's tranquil in my heart. Sitting in my hammock swing and just being there. Sitting in a chapel with stained glass. Stained glass really inspires me. And yes, that's a great idea, Becca. Becca said she may put these things in her bingo for the month. So if you want to use that bingo card for that, if you're not planning to go to that social, use that bingo. You can mark it off that way. Anywhere there's a water's edge, the beach, river, lake, stream, just that water. Let's see, riding shotgun down a country back road, just having somebody else do the driving. I feel so tranquil. Digging in the dirt, tending to the garden, getting in the zone at my sewing machine. I love to quilt and create. And man, I just love when I lose myself at my sewing machine. Movie night with loved ones, and we're all curled up on the couch, going to the library and just hanging out and picking a book and listening, and just the vibe there. So I have a whole, I've got more that keep coming. Again, you might want to use your sleep tracker or a tracker that you don't use in your journal. You might want to use your bingo board. You might want to divide this up and put a few on the scratch pads every week. So I want you guys to share in the chat what you're going to be putting on your list so we can inspire from each other. I'm going to sit with my journal, and actually I know I'm going to pick up some ideas from you guys. And just remember this: every day brings a choice to practice stress or to practice peace. And that is an active word. So this is a way we're going to practice peace. All righty, have at it. And I'll check back in with you in just a few moments.
May our hearts be open. May our hearts be open. May our
Okay, this list that you got or the chat has amazing things. If you are stuck, go back and scroll through. I was sitting here writing as quickly as I could, and I meant to tell you guys, when I was going through my list with Maya, I said, do you notice how many of mine involve sitting? Which I thought was interesting because I tend to want to be productive. I mentioned I don't like to let the grass grow under my feet yet. When I put this stuff down on paper, I noticed that I find tranquility when I'm being still for the majority of the time, when I'm just sitting. And so I think subconsciously, like my body and my mind know I need that. I need to slow it down and not feel like I gotta produce. And so there was so much power in making this list for me and seeing the evidence in writing. And I noticed that there were a lot of small moments that you guys picked up on, things like sipping tea, like just being very intentional. And if you were able to attend the fireside chat with Meha and Gretchen Rubin, that is one of the big takeaways that I found. Gretchen talks about all these different sensory things that we have coming into our bodies every single day. And my thought was, it's really about paying attention. It's really about noticing. We all have our own journeys. They're unique, but we go through a lot of the same things. And like, if you can just stop every time you turn on the tap and fill that glass and take 2 seconds to take a deep breath and let that water fill, you've created this little moment of meditation that didn't take more than a minute or two. And so I think we can give ourselves permission to slow things down and notice and maybe sit down every once in a while. Jennifer Ogilvy. So thank you for leaning into this activity. Again, mark these things off as you embrace them throughout the month. Continue to grow your list as we travel through the month, and post them in Sonder Club from time to time, as you grow them, because we will all be able to benefit from one another. Again, I was so inspired by you. I was writing like a crazy woman here. So thank you for embracing that. Let's get going with our monthly setup, shall we? So we've got our beautiful monthly planner, corals and tans. Those are my colors. I love them. We're going to start by reflecting on July. What did July look like? We're going to be on page 8, and we are going to take a look at our wins, our challenges, our favorite moments of the month. And then we're going to kind of examine, when I'm thinking about July, what do I want to stop? What do I want to start? And what do I want to continue? What do I want to carry forward? So here is your page, or here's your page in the middle. And then we've got lots of fun tips here. So as you can see, to start, things that are not being done that you want to do. Right? Those things that maybe have been bumping around in your head. This is at the bottom of that page. Things that you want to begin to do to get better results. I know that August tends to be kind of a reset month with that back to school mindset, even if you're not in education, and even if you don't have kids at home. It's just our society has these sales. We sort of say goodbye to summer at the end of August. And so there's sort of this reset. Great time to think about what you want to start. Things that might be worth experimenting or giving it a try. And then you look at the things that you want to stop, like what's not serving you, what's not helping you anymore, what are not delivering, are you doing things and they're not delivering results? Maybe stop doing that. Things that don't serve you, those, maybe there's some negative talk that you need, some self-talk, you need to just stop doing it and put that commitment to the paper. And then of course, the things that are working, we want to continue. So think about those things you want to keep that are worthwhile, that are bringing value to your day-to-day life. And then as you're looking through your wins and your challenges, the wins are kind of like those roses. So if you have been working through your rosebud thorn reflections at the end of each week in July, this is a great place to go. Look at your wins. What were those roses and those buds, some of those things that emerged. And then the challenges, we all have them, right? I mean, we don't get through life unscathed. And so what are things that didn't go right? Maybe there are things out of your control and you just need to put it on paper and try to leave some of the negativity with that behind. And I know there's health things that don't go away, but perhaps writing it down and just calling it what it is. You are a challenge, and I want to try to be done with you and not let you define my day. Right.
Hello,
And then, things, maybe something that's a stumbling block or frustration. Maybe there's something going on at work. So you can kind of go back through those rosebud thorns, use your phone, your calendar. I even say, look at your checkbook. That'll tell you your story from the last month. So I had a pretty darn good month last month. It was my 60th birthday. And so I got to turn 60 in the mountains of Colorado, and my kids were there and their kids. And we took family pictures that were ridiculous. We don't have one that's a keeper because and it's funny. It's part of our story. I mean, I should say they're all keepers, but they're not like that. Oh, perfect family. We just love it. We just have laughed at so many of them. I created a 60th year bucket list back in January, and I knocked several things off of that list during that month. And I started doing post crossings. It's a postcard program, and you do postcard exchanges. And I received my very first card yesterday, but I've sent about 8 out. And so it's kind of a neat thing. If just, I feel like it's just a way to connect with the world. And I found some new shoes that are so comfortable. I took those on vacation. I feel like that's a win because I have terrible feet that hurt all the time. But I found something that got me through. So that was a win for me because I have gone through shoes after shoes after shoes trying to find the right one. Yes, Post Crossings is the app, and you can get on there and it's fun. Okay, my challenges. Our air conditioner at the house stopped working, and we knew it stopped working when I tried to turn it back, low when we were driving home from cool Colorado into 103-degree Texas, and the air wasn't working. So that was not fun. And then the costly repair right after vacation really stunk. I got a stomach bug from the Grands while we were on vacation. My Murano needed new brakes before we hit the road. That was not fun. And then, every day, my Dallas people, where you at? 100+ degrees. It's just oppressive. I'm going to complain, even though I can't do anything about it. And then my favorite moment. So my Colorado trip, I got to go to Red Rocks and see the Avett brothers, who I'm crazy about in real life. And we connected. I saw on Facebook. We connected with college friends. The last time we saw them was at their wedding, and then they moved, and we've stayed in contact. But it has been 37 years since we hugged each other, and we got to do the concert with them, and it was amazing. The cool weather in Colorado was amazing. Christmas in July, I did that social. And I've started doing mine. I'm making a Christmas quilt. I started putting those pieces together, and I'm making my advent calendar now because I didn't get it done last year. But one of my most favorite things was getting to meet my other co-facilitator today, Maya, in real life, because she lives in Colorado, and she and her husband joined us for lunch, and it was just amazing. So that was favorite moment. My month that I want to start, I want to have a consistent bedtime. So I'm going to track it on my weekly tracker, and I'm going to set and obey this watch. Y'all know, if you've been a couple of my socials, I have revenge bedtime, and I've got to stop it because I don't feel well. What do I want to stop? I'm not prioritizing my daily movement. So I'm stopping that mindset. I'm going to make it a priority, and I'm going to stop checking my phone the first thing in the morning and the last thing at night. So I'm giving myself a 30-minute buffer, and it's on my tracker. And I'm making like a day sandwich with no phone is my 2 pieces of bread. I've got to stop that because it's keeping me up at night, and then I don't need to start my day with that. And then what do I want to continue? I have been making a ton of grain bowls for lunch to try to, be a little more healthy and feel good. And I love it. And they're delicious. And I make one big thing and I eat off of it all week. So I'm going to keep doing that. So just a reminder, don't be afraid to start over, because this time you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience. I'm going to give you guys some time to work on your July reflections, and please share in the chat what you're doing. And Jess, my grain bowl recipes, Pinterest. Start with Pinterest and start with quinoa, and you'll get a million. So let us know kind of like what was your July like, and we'll check back in with you in just a few moments. right. So we can kind of wrap July up and take into August the things that served us. And we say goodbye, July. Thank you, July. I know there are some of our Sonder family members who will actually write a goodbye note to the month that we're leaving, and they welcome in the new month with a hello note. So that's just kind of a fun thing to do if you need to say goodbye and put things aside. You guys talked about, I love, one of the last things that we just had in the chat, Sarah said, small habit changes are better than big habit changes all the time. And yes, and those small steps are bigger than no steps, right? I mean, we do the best we can. So now let's embrace this new month. I love starting with a fresh new month. We're going to start by looking at our August intentions. And just like the top of this page says, a new month, a new you. Setting intentions is not necessarily a to-do list. It's asking something of yourself and then giving yourself the strength to do it. So there's a lot of ways to set our intention pages up. Let's talk about some tips and tricks. So you might want to embrace that whole mindset of leaning into tranquility for the month by how you set up your intentions. You might want to focus on something that you are going to be working on personally, like self-love or self-talk. Perhaps you are a music buff and you could find some song titles or even some lyrics to frame out each intention of the month. Or think about, how do I want to feel in each of these areas? How do I want to feel about my money management? How do I want to feel about my physical self? So asking that question and writing that out can be your intention. You can use stickers, colors, images, and then you could also frame it out by one thing you want to let go of and one thing you want to embrace or start doing. So let's take a look at several slides so you can see what this looks like. So you can see the one here on the upper left, that it's stickers. Stickers kind of help define and frame that intention out. The one underneath it, I'm going to do more of something and less of something. That you might just choose one single word, like the one in the middle did. Mindfulness for spiritual health, nature for physical health, going to embrace getting out there and moving their body. You might want to use the monthly theme. And my example at the upper right is actually from the month when we had passion as our theme. And so this person framed out each one of the intentions with passion, feeling passionate about hard work under physical health, or feeling passionate about saving under money management. So sort of used the theme to set herself in motion. There might be statements that you can use just to support those intentions, those grabbing those words that are a commitment to yourself. I will fill in the blank. I commit to, I can, I intend, I am. So those statements are great. So some others here that we'll go to the next. So thank you, Maya. There is an example of using some song titles over there on the left. I think that's fun. This one in the middle is a new, I saw this, it's new to me. They stated the intention. See how they made it like a little envelope, each one. And on the flap, they colored it, and that's their intention. And then they've added some action items to make sure that that intention happens. And I'm going to assume some of those action items will be transferred into habits and activities, or maybe weekly goals. The one on the upper right are all great quotes that inspired this person for their different intentions. Let's see, we've got another set of examples, I believe. Thank you, Maya. So, if you're an artist, there it is. There's your jam. I just write words in mine is there on the bottom right. I got fancy and outlined the intention boxes. Notice the one that's here kind of in the middle on the bottom that they're not going to use the money management space and they're using it. They put review and it's kind of a space for reflection. So a reminder that if some of these intention categories don't speak to you, use that space in a different way, or you can change the categories to fit your life. So mine is there on the bottom right there. And I always change my professional goals since I contract for Silk and Sonder, but I'm retired. And so I do learnings. I've changed that into learnings to make sure I'm keeping that brain crisp. And I do at least one nonfiction book a month, one documentary, and I do one course, TED Talk, an Eventbrite, something where I can kind of grow my brain. I tend to change money management up to my home and garden. And I tend to do personal life as a creative life because that's something I'm very much wanting to embrace in my retirement. You're taking so many screenshots, Lori just said. So I'm glad. I love it. So let's put on some music while you work on your intentions. Tell us how you set this up. Do you use all these spaces? Do you leave some blank? Are you renaming some of the intentions? Because what you do will inspire our fellow Silk and Sonder family. Okay, so very inspiring. Some of you do change out some of these categories or these intention titles to work better in your life. And remember, if the month is going to be a crazy month, like August, September, for I'm a retired educator. And I was an administrator, and like August was kind of my nightmare. I might have been tempted, if I had had this beautiful tool when I was working, to maybe just focus on personal life and professional goals. And the rest of the boxes would have just been extra. I would have put stickers or encouraging words and maybe leaned into the two things that were occupying the whole world at that time. So you know yourself best. And if it's a crazy month, then how do you prioritize the most important intentions so that you are really leaning into your self-care? That's just kind of a little helpful hint there. So thank you for working on your intentions. Now we're going to take a look at that mood tracker, and you will find your mood tracker on page 10 in your journal. And this month we have the round mood tracker. And what is really cool about the mood tracker is that it helps us notice trends and how we're feeling. When you notice those trends, then you can make shifts. And I always laugh because I would say, when I was working, if I had tracked my moods, I probably would have seen a big difference between 5 days of the week versus the 2 weekends. Wow, what a message. Maybe I should have made some changes before I did. And then you're going to be able to see the tools that work when those good things show up. So we have this fabulous feelings wheel. Now you have this, you can also access this on the Silk and Sonder website. If you just go to the website and put in the search engine feelings wheel, it's a blog post, and you can always have this at your fingertips. But we focus on the 6 major feelings. So if you're going to follow your moods, a good suggestion is maybe just start with the big 6 that you see: the fear, love, joy, anger, sadness, surprise, and maybe start tracking those things. And then as you start honing in, you might want to work your way out of the center of the wheel. The center of the wheel are those 6 things, and then we sort of keep growing outward and getting more detailed in those feelings. So if you're brand new, again, that's a suggestion. Maybe start with those 6. Now, I also know there's folks who, if you're like, what is going on with me? I'm so angry all the time. You might want to only focus on those kind of anger moods, right? And so all of yours could have to do with did I feel rage? Was I irritable? Was I grumpy? And make it personal to you. So that's what the mood tracker looks like. If we'll go to, here we go. We're going to take, maybe you could also do 2 or 3 negative feelings, a neutral feeling, 2 or 3 positive feelings. Maybe use this as tranquility. Where am I finding tranquility this month? You can fill in with every emotion that comes in the daytime, maybe code it with colors. I'm going to show you some examples, or maybe kind of evaluate your day at the end of each day, and like, what did I overall feel, and rate that day with that, using stickers, colored pens, doodles. So let's look at some examples so that you can see what that looks like. Oh, and let me show you, if you're brand new, you're going to have either this is our hexagon mood tracker. So don't get thrown off if you see it, but this month's is a wheel. So I wanted to show both of those to you because you're going to see some examples that are both. And so here are some folks, they filled out their mood tracker. As you can see, the one at the top, those big 6: fear, anger, sadness, surprise, joy, and love, right there they are. And then you can see the color coding. There's one that's kind of filled out there at the bottom. Yes, Maya, thank you. The 30 days or fewer will have the hexagons, and then the 31-day months are the circles. And then I love how someone used the little stickers there with for the different feelings. If they're tired or upset, it was a swan. Feeling angry or sad, a butterfly. Just for that graphic input there. The one over there on the right side, I love this. It says accomplished, and she put yay me, and joyful will be coded in with a happy face and a little calm face. And I'm not sure how I'm feeling today, a question mark. And the reason we track these, then you can kind of maybe look at your health and see trends that are going on. And then the one below that is very detailed. So you can see like look at the little green hexagon, the glass is half full, and then wrote some of the feelings that would bring about the glass is half full feelings. All righty. Yes, it's so nice to see the repurposed. So let's look at those. You could use it as a daily affirmation. Someone is tracking blood glucose numbers right there. I track my books that I read. I just write the title and assign it a color. Then you'll see that there on the left. That's how I use my mood tracker. I always say, since I'm gone through menopause, my moods are much better than they used to be. Maybe you just rate the day at the end of the day on a scale of, and you can see how a couple of people over there on the right have set up their rate the day, an activity tracker or a workout tracker. That's a great way to frame that out. I think I have another slide or two, Maya. Yes. Oh, an anxiety tracker. This is from our facilitator, Bailey, who tracks how her anxiety is affecting her. You can see that at the upper left. That's a lot of people have embraced that idea of an anxiety tracker, a spending tracker. If this is part of your money management intention, wow, repurpose it to a spending tracker, manifesting happiness. And I love the quotes, right? There's that extra space up there. So putting in some positive words to remind. Yes, Lisa, I agree with the rate the day, just on a scale of 1 to whatever, right? To know how it looks. And let's see, Maya, is there another one? I can't quite recall. Oh, yep, there might be a couple more. I'm not sure. I love the mood tracker. This looks like a farm person who did they're tracking the moon, and all the things that they did are squeezed into those days when they sowed seeds and when they took care of pests. The one over on the right, business, educate, a group post, invite. They were working on their business and putting those things in there for that accountability to themselves. And then tracking emotions and energy. So you can see the emotions, 3 of them: manic and balanced and depressed are represented by flowers. And then how was my energy, and how can I see that linked up? And you can see they're tracing in different colors to represent high, medium, and low. And is there another one, Maya? Oh, there is. We'll keep going. Oh, here is a step tracker. And then I love this, how to start the day in a good mood tracker. And there's several things on there. You can see all the ways that they're starting their awake, affirmation, drinking water, healthy breakfast. And then they awarded themselves stickers based on the number of things that they actually did. And have we come to the end of the examples of repurpose, Maya? Okay, and there's our mood tracker. So let's work on this, our feelings wheel, and let us know, how do you use this space? A couple of you have already said you're thinking maybe tranquility. Leanne, thank you for posting that business tracker, and you're going to try writing the day. Let us know what you're going to do. What feelings are you going to embrace? Okay, so some of you guys repurpose this on the regular, and some are using it to track those moods that you're having throughout the day. And this is a wonderful tool too, because like if maybe work is like you're not really sure what's going on, it could be a way to sort of wake up when you see it on paper and go, ooh, I need a change. I am miserable on Monday through Friday. So there are such good advantages to tracking these moods. So now we're going to take a look at that next door neighbor page on page 11. We're going to look at our habit tracker. Now, this habit tracker is that big habit wheel, and this is a great place to go back and look at what you said you were going to start and stop and continue in your reflections for the month of July. Remember that bottom part. When am I going to stop, start, and continue? Maybe those things go into this habit tracker. So again, pull that theme of tranquility to set up the habits that you're going to track this month. And it could just be one of your tracking things is embrace a moment of tranquility each day, right? Because this habit tracker, we like to think about the things on it will be the things that we do intend to do on a daily basis. Now, we have a habit tracker in the weekly setup or the weeklies that we do. And a lot of folks, well, why do we have two? Well, this one that we're setting up for the month are kind of those things that we're planning to do most of the days. The habit tracker in the weekly can be set up to work for the week that you're going to have. I often say I have a medication and I have to take it every 3 days. So it feels like it's kind of inconsistent. Well, on that weekly tracker, I can circle those actual days that I'll do it during that week. So I don't want that to go on my monthly habit tracker. Take a look at last month. Are there habits that served you that you want to continue tracking? You can transfer those over. Find a balance. Maybe you do a new habit that will track in with something you're already doing. That's called habit stacking. So you take something you already do, like maybe I know Maya makes her bed every day, no matter what. And so a new habit for her in the morning might be something that she tacks onto that making the bed, because it will stack it and she'll have more success in remembering to do it. You can look back at that tranquility checklist that you just made. Are any of those things addable? Could they be put onto this tracker? And remember, you don't have to fill in every line. So let's take a look at what some folks have done. You can see here's some great examples of what they're going to do each month, how they're tracking. One is tracking with stickers, one is coloring in. Each month I use my little black Sharpie and I just scribble in when I do something. We have some other examples to show you. Some folks are very creative. As you can see, I live a life full of colors. Look at that beautiful mandala. So the tracker has been sketched out and then it is colored in every single day, which I think are just beautiful. Want to point out the one there on the right. Do you see those blocks of days that are marked out? Those are the weekends. And so sometimes habits look a little different. You may go, like I didn't do this on these days. Oh, it was the weekend. I have a different rhythm and routine on those days. So a way to give yourself permission to recognize that. We have a couple other examples to share with you. You do not have to fill out every line. I've been mentioning that throughout our social. This person is tracking brush teeth twice a day, making their bed, and doing the daily affirmation. And then I think that block of maroon color on those other ones just makes it pop. Here's another one about I'm going to do 4 things this day. And the rest are kind of scribbled out there. All righty. And then look at that beautiful rainbow. And just a reminder, if you have a sick day or you just have an off day, it's okay to give yourself that permission. Eek, COVID got me. And those days are part of your story. It's neutral whether you get these things are done or not. It's all neutral. The one over there on the right is one of mine, and I just tracked 3 things in the morning and 3 things at night. All righty. And then finally, I love this reminder, giving myself grace and moving on because it's not worth the stress. Some of these things didn't happen, and that's permission. Remember, this isn't a bingo, and coverall is not the only way to win. And I was going to give you full disclosure on my July. I had mentioned I traveled, but I also got a stomach bug. And so my little journal, there we go. It's not, or my tracker is not, it just didn't happen this month. So I'm giving yours, and I'm neutral about it, right? I'm not judging myself. It was just a different kind of month. I gave it a whirl. It didn't work this time. So we've got some habit tracker ideas here, and there's another slide that Maya's going to share, and we're going to go back and forth between these while you fill these out, and we'll come back and check on you in just a moment. We should just about have this habit tracker filled out. Thank you for doing that with me. I just noticed my wall clock that I look at when I do these socials is wrong, and I'm off a little bit. So we need to wrap things up so you can get on with a fabulous Saturday. Here is a way to repurpose that sleep tracker. Just some suggestions: cleaning log, bingo list, work breaks. You can go to the app and see how folks do that. There's a space for sleep trackers, but just wanted to remind you, you can repurpose those. Speaking of that app, share your planner in the app so that we can inspire one another. And I am so glad you came here today. Refer a friend, $10 for you, $10 for your friend, and share your feedback. You'll get a follow-up email to this, and you will also be able to access this setup as well as the other setups that are happening on our YouTube channel. Save that, bookmark that. That is a private YouTube channel just for you. Speaking of YouTube, at the general accessible to all Silk and Sonder YouTube page, you will be able to now access the fireside chat with Meha and Gretchen Rubin. Maya just discovered that, so she's dropping all the links in the chat. Thank you for joining me for your setup today. I wish you guys a fabulous August. The dog days of summer are here, and we are ready to lean into tranquility as we kick off a new month. Love you, Sonder fam. See you next time.
I spent my whole life trying to fit into a lane, but I'm so over it. I watch my friends fall out of love and go insane, bet on life and lose the game, so I'm quit. I never wanna be like that, a suit and tie copycat. I never was into that.